Alright, we are at Kingsport Lighthouse, here to see my take on the port, as well as CMS Leviathan, here for maintenance. The CMS Leviathan is the dreadnought I've built for my homebrew faction, the Commonwealth Marines. We're on take number I don't know because people keep raining from the sky. Coming in, we have basic defenses, got our shooting range to keep people occupied, as well as some generators, and they're just kind of hidden behind cinder blocks. Over here, those lights have a purpose that we'll get back to. Then we have our screened-in porch. Now, as I was saying, the Commonwealth Marines are my homebrew faction. Upon discovering Far Harbor and the fact that boats actually can be made to work, we set about the task of getting to the water. The Commonwealth Marines specialize in attacking from the water, from sea. Basically, they are the wasteland version of my take on the cross-between Marine Corps and Navy SEALs. Can't really call them SEALs because we don't have any air power. Over here we have Robbie making some alcohol for everyone. And me once again getting slapped off the door. In here in the crew quarters where they've been cooking up some stuff. Got their first aid and their beds. And then they pretty much just communal everything. And after all, this is the military and it's all just given to them anyways. Well, not really given. If they work, they eat. And if they don't want to work, they can find somewhere else. And they just have their basic stuff over here. Do-it-yourself is an amazing mod for things like that. Coming right here, we have one of the dog kennels. This is just one of the bathrooms. The exit over here overlooks where the children of Adam are. There's some barbed wires to make them go that extra mile if they want to get in. But you really don't want to, considering there's an Eyebot and there's another one. Now we have one of our good boys right here coming out of his house. And I'll go upstairs first. So, being that we are doing things kind of on the water, we will pick up travelers from time to time. And that is why this building has kind of been rebuilt. Over here, this guy can move between the windows, so no one really knows where he is. I have the Darker Nights mod installed, so with those lights out there, it is just really, really bright. So if you were trying to take a shot from, say, over there, you wouldn't be able to tell, is he here or over here, and you only got one chance to make that shot. So coming back down, as I was saying, if you pick up travelers, sometimes it might be an issue, and that's where the prison here comes into play. Swipe that. And here we have someone, Damien apparently, who's in here for who knows what, probably a drunken brawl. And then, of course, we have Joan, who's been here a while, because she really wanted that mattress by the window. Crime doesn't pay, especially in the wasteland. Keeping them safe, we have shotgun turret. I don't know what happened to that. That was not like that 10 minutes ago. But coming out to our porch, they've been out here smoking. That's all enclosed for them. 2 guards on duty. Cullen's cooking up some munitions for us while Billy's writing up the report. Probably on what got Joanne shackled over there. Coming out here, you can see there's a big box up there on the tower. And that's important. The Marines don't communicate using lighthouses or anything like that. I mean, it's just impractical anymore. And again, mods for doing this OC dispenser, really good. I'll just run up these real quick. But so for long-range communication, the Marines needed to adapt. And there's all these ham radios lying around the wasteland, so they figured, here's our radio operator's personal space. They figured why not start installing more radio equipment. Just everything they could get that could possibly extend their signal. Because they're keeping tabs on everything. If anything happens, we are able to report it immediately. If there's patrols in the area, they can react to it. And if we really need to send a signal, we got the big boy up top. Pretty much this represents coverage for every type of signal distance you would need in the Commonwealth. Down there we have the CMS Leviathan, nice little overview from the top. You can see it's got its radar arrays and radio transmitters as well. I'll just take the fast route down. Portable jetpack mod from the Bethesda official, if anybody was curious. Over here, we have our coastal guns overlooking the bay, because we have water power and we don't want anybody else to come in and screw with it. Over here we just have all of our farming and whatnot to keep things supplied. Troops gotta eat. Over here, Bishop in the Power Armor is one of our farmers. Yeah, and he happens to be a ghoul farmer. Funny. But he helped us create the Great Wall of Cars over here to help block off the beach. Come back over here, we have the laser turrets to help deal with Brotherhood if they happen to come in. Because I haven't gone after the Pridwin yet in this playthrough. Coming down here, we have one of our Marines weighing out some fish, getting it ready for the long haul. And the Leviathan is built on the tugboat model in-game. Everything you see was hand-placed. This is all custom done using mods and placed everywhere. So we have the 3-screw propulsion from the basic tugboat model, which I imagine still allows it to travel at like 2 miles an hour in the apocalypse. Nothing stellar, but hey, it's giant, it's armored, and it's got some fun things on board. So it would be really unfair for it to go any faster. And then for auxiliary speed, we have the 4 extra turbines up there. We don't turn them on just for power reasons. We can get it going, but it really isn't worth it if we're just going cruising. Plus, there's just something fun about Raider seeing coming from the coast, because it has that, oh lord, he's coming appearance. And here, Deacon's manning the bar. Anybody getting off the ship or about to go out and needs to eat can stop by for a bite. And he's got a pretty good selection. They're always cooking out back. Got the meat being prepared as well. Coming over here, someone's been doing some repairs. Oh, I'm getting hung up on a cat. They've got their toolbox and tools laid out, working on one of the turbines. Now the whole inspiration for this is just to have a scrappy dreadnought in the wasteland. Something where it's not a fishing boat you're going to see coming. This is going to be slow, but it is hauling everything they could possibly need for a long operation. This has space for 14 people, lifeboats. There's one on either side. Actually have enough space for everybody as well. Over here we got a little bit of propaganda, and if you fall off, you can just climb back on using the net. So, nice little overview. And again, just the sheer size of this for comparison. It's my model here. And we've already been spotted by the captain and his assistant, who we'll be seeing later on. Coming in, we have armor plating, and that's just in case bullets start flying. You want more protection than less. I mean, it is the apocalypse, you just never know. And of course the reminder, don't jump into the water, because it's cold, it's deep, and you don't want to be eaten by a ghoul orca. I mean, no one wants to meet a ghoul killer whale. And then we got the wood floor, helps keep things nice and traversable, especially at sea if it starts getting wet. You can hose things down, fire suppression and whatnot. CBC mod, big help in here for a lot of things, like their compact workbenches. And we have some supplies and bulletin board for the maintenance team. Again, someone can make some ammo down here from the supplies that they find. Just all the tools and everything we need to keep this going. Now, what makes the Minutemen different from the Marines, number one is their training, but also their equipment. You can see the Marine armor. What I've done in game is given everybody the helmet with the diving legendary on there to simulate the rebreather from New Vegas. Reason being, I figure if we can have it in New Vegas, there's no reason I can't have it in my own little lore here. So coming over here, we have the shower, because naturally if you're going out, cleanliness is going to be an issue. And Marines being Marines, they like to scribble all over the ship. There's graffiti from time to time. Coming around, someone's been cooking some donuts out here. Fire suppression. Then all the supplies. Now these are not things that I've spawned in, these are just random supplies that I've gone around and collected over time, like Mirelurk meat and whatnot, purified water. We do have ways of getting food while we're out. Obviously that is fishing and hunting primarily. And over here they can chill with their smokes and cola and fish for the crew. Not a super glamorous job, but hey, someone's got to do it. And we keep them supplied. Coming over here, we have our kitchen staff. We got Martha cleaning up and our cook Noah. It is amazing to see them both here at the same time. If you are not aware, when building on something like the tugboat in Fallout, where it was never designed to be a settlement, the AI absolutely hates the pathfinding. So coming over here, we have all of our foodstuffs. And I imagine once we get underway, they take like a tarp or a blanket or something and wrap it around here so nothing comes off. And they've pulled out some meat here to prepare for dinner, as well as some melons. Got some fish in the sink. Someone's probably been drinking their coffee, or maybe just filling it with some wine while they're cooking. Again, more supplies for the crew, because you can't expect them to work on an empty stomach. The cook keeps his peace nearby at all times. In order to help with the issue of coolant in the Fallout universe, we have installed radiators. Because I figure with the Minutemen starting as a bunch of farm boys, nobody knows how to fix something better than a farm boy. And if you want to extend coolant's life, give it more time to cool things off, well, or rather heat things up in this case. We use this to heat the main cabins on board. Over here we have condiments, and they keep some whiskey on hand too. And of course, no smoking, no matches, no open flames, because this is the dangerous area. When the Marines decide that they're going in, they like to go in hard. Got AKs, Berettas, M1s, Mossbergs, even some alien tech. And all the ammunition they could possibly need. Two great mods if you haven't tried them before, this grenade launcher here, as well as the Cazador launcher. And can't be a Minutemen faction without, the typical artillery. Got some oxygen tanks for the diving teams. Down here we have fusion cores to run the engines, just more ammunition to secure. And then some gas canisters in case we really need to get creative with those shells. And got, reading material for when we're out at sea. Yeah, coming up here, we have the meditation area, or as close as you can get to that for a Marine. Because in here, we have a 155 howitzer. This is what allows us to project force out there in the wasteland as a faction. The Marines are able to pull up with this giant-ass gun and start shooting. Now obviously we don't want to haul things up and down stairs all the time, so we do keep supplies up here on deck. Got a bulk of shells over there away from the front, because we expect bullets to be coming at us, since that's where we'll be aimed. More fire suppression stuff over here, general supplies, and he's got his backpack. On this side, he's got his topographical map for when he needs to start shooting. Always helps to know if there's a hill in the way that you got to account for. And then if we get ambitious, we can know where we are in the world. Over here, they've just been doing some maintenance in their downtime. Now for propaganda reasons as well as security reasons, we have the security camera as well as the propaganda camera. Because nothing recruits better in the wasteland like being able to show a movie at Starlight Drive-Ins of your people bombing the hell out of some mutants all over the wasteland. And then if they got to do their duty on duty, well, it's dirty, but it'll do. And obviously someone's been spending too much time in here. But hey, it is what it is. If they're not getting called to fire on something, we just let them relax. Got some armor plating all over the place. And this is because, as I said, if bullets are coming from the front, we don't want it coming inside. Coming around to this side, we got more armor plating. And then we find the first defensive turret. This is a 50 caliber. And I couldn't find a good way to make a pintle mount in game, so this is the best you get. Personally, I think it looks great, especially with the shield here. Coming along, we got the restricted area for the bridge, as well as mesh that'll keep us out of the infirmary, and boards to keep bullets out. Installed the mesh mainly because we got the cats and the birds, and we just don't want things getting in here. Because if we're going to have people being operated on, it needs to be cleanly. Then again, radiator for heating in here. Fortunately, pathfinding doesn't allow me to keep a doctor in here. I had hoped. It didn't work out. So coming around, again, we have some more of that graffiti I was talking about. Here's where they can work their chemistry magic. Someone's been cleaning up as well. Another lifeboat. These two stairwells, if you're not familiar with the tugboat model, just go back down to the rear here. So instead, yeah, and there are these loudspeakers all over the place for communication on board. So going over here, we have Captain Longfellow and his assistant Sprout. Now Longfellow, I'm sure everyone's familiar with if you've played the game. He's from Far Harbor. I thought he was most suiting as the captain of a ship like this, and he takes his job very seriously with that headset. Not only does the radio operator, who can sit here, run the radio, he's listening at all times in case there's an issue so that he can react to it. Now bullets coming from the front aren't getting in, but for situational awareness, he's able to see out the sides. And then his assistant over here was originally planned to be the fire control, and we had worked this out with the mechanist to build a whole robot. But then gravity and some rough waves happened and it broke its legs. Well, we decided instead of fixing the legs, which costs a whole lot of time and effort, we just stick it in a pot and we renamed it Sprout. So now Sprout's over here working out his fire controls for all the main guns on board. And again, radio communication, he's over here listening to Diamond City radio. And of course, Longfellow's not afraid to get his hands dirty. They've got their map here to see where they're going. Coming out, opposite side here, we have a .308 caliber turret. No shield on this one, but then coming upstairs, we've got a double .308 turret for defensive reasons, as well as a CMS Leviathan sign up there, looking very nice at night. We got our water supply up top as well. As you can see, that right there is a radar system. Now what that does, if you notice the turrets that are up top there as well as on the back were offline, if anything hostile comes in range, it'll automatically turn those on. Now the Marines, having a sense of humor, decided to go looting for some signs. Probably stole this one off a trail somewhere. We just probably stole this one from a quarry. And the reason for warning about the cliff is so that anybody coming on board doesn't just fucking die. And this is so hazardous, they've even warranted a third sign. And we've had the Railroad and the Minutemen working together for this build, so of course we have both of their flags in the main area down here. Another area for someone to make some alcohol while we're out, and if somebody attacks us from behind, whether it's a vertebrate or a ghoul whale, we've got another 50 cal. And then for shooting at things that are less threatening, we've got the old pipe classic. And of course you can't be sailing without somebody that knows how to play guitar. It just doesn't work. It can't happen. You know, someone's been working on their clothing. And then this, I have to give a shout out to, is the Combat Power Armor mod from Tumba Jumba, I believe is the name. I know it is on Nexus. I do not know about Bethesda. But look at that look. Got this one with the pouches and the knife. So this guy's probably handling the shotgun, getting up close. And then this one's got all the extra ammo. So he's probably the heavy gunner. And then we got more clothing and stuff for them. Coming back upstairs here. And I've walked through here previously, so I know where I have to go in first person. I do apologize for the back and forth. But we have just more supplies up here in the bunk room. A little bit of propaganda. And then over here, we have something that earned an unfortunate name. When I started building this area, Longfellow, when he wasn't assigned to the station, came here and refused to leave this chair. So this has since been named the Captain's Cabin. And I kind of figured, you know what, they're dirty sailors. If they're gonna do it, give them a place and some warnings. That's all we can do. And of course, never call it the Captain's Cabin to Longfellow's face if you don't want to get thrown overboard. Coming over here, we got Timmy, who's local brewmaster. He's out here brewing in the fresh air. Got a coffee station as well as our armor workbench. Coming in here, we have the actual Captain's Cabin. Longfellow's a simple guy. He likes his cigars, he likes his drink, but he doesn't require a whole lot of decorations. He doesn't need a whole lot of things. He's got his first aid kit, duffel bag, and then he's got part of the radiator system here heating his quarters, because, you know, he's the captain, he gets his way. And just very simple. Figured the old man is not going to want to have all the fancy stuff like everybody else. He's not going to draw on the walls. Coming over here, we have another .308 turret. And again, these are just defensive for the Marines, because I figured they're not going to want to stand by and just wait for the turrets to do the work. If there's a bunch of vertebrates coming in, these have, you know, excellent range that they can aim from. But it'll also give them something to do, because what Marine doesn't want to fire the big guns? Up here we have double 50 calibers. Nice little mounted system. And then another double 50 over here. And I believe these are from the Skibida weapon pack. This is part of that radar system that turns the lights on. Coming in here, this is where they're able to do their navigating from when there's really no threat. Let's say we're docking or anything where they need that visibility. You're able to see much more clearly up here without all the armor plating. Still able to communicate on board, as well as communicate with other ships. Yeah, this is the CMS Leviathan. This is my take on just what a Commonwealth Wasteland Dreadnought would end up looking like. Pretty much went to Far Harbor, got the knowledge from there, and started fixing things up. But of course, to end things off, we gotta see the guns firing. Let me turn the radio on real quick. Oh, it didn't fire the first time this time. There we go. All the lights to help with navigation and just give you that impending sense of dread when you see this thing out on the water. Like I said, this is meant to have that sense of just big and slow, and you don't want it arriving anywhere near you. Because when this shows up, this means the Marines are there for business. And I think we'll end that off because this has just hit 27 minutes. And I don't think the Children of Atom can take much more of a beating. Thank you for watching my tour of the CMS Leviathan.